Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lady Arcader's Attract Mode. I am your host tonight, Metroid Crime, and I am actually super excited to be here. This is going to be such a great showcase tonight. Before we get started, just a little introduction to Lady Arcaders. We are an all-women's gaming collective. We welcome all women in gaming, speedrunners, developers, and casual fans alike. In addition to our cozy private community, we run weekly showcases on our Twitch channel, as well as larger charity events throughout the year, like the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase. For more details, to join our Discord, you can type !Discord in chat, or you can go visit ladyarcaders.com/start for links to the schedule, and also for more information. Without further ado, I'm going to pass this over to Kariohki, who's going to be playing Love Live School Idol Festival All-Stars! Take it away.
Wow, that cadence for that toss-over could have fit into the title screen right here. It was like perfect. But yes, welcome, hello, I'm Kariohki. I am showcasing to you tonight yet another anime mobile game that is shutting down in 15 days. If you remember the last game that I showed, Love Live School Idol Festival, and that game shut down, and then they announced this one was shutting down too, so I was like, well, I should show this off. But to do so, I needed a very special guest with me to do commentary, so if you could introduce yourself, please, as I enter the game here.
Hi, I'm Pidge. If you came here from my Twitter, you might be surprised to see me commentating anything that's not called Super Mario RPG, but I absolutely love this game. I've been obsessed with this game for 3 years, and ever since the end of service was announced, I've been leading a large-scale archival project to make sure that all the content gets to stay on the internet forever.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more about that archival project as we go through the songs. And just a brief explanation of this game. This is not just a normal rhythm game. This is what I've kind of deemed a rhythm strategy role-playing adventure game, with adventure meaning the Japanese term of adventure games, which translates more to visual novel here, where there's songs and there's rhythm, but it's more about team building and making a strategy to pass the songs without losing all your health by the end, with a story on the side with lots of character events and actual event stories that happened and a main story that went through. And yeah, so without any further waiting, Pidge and I selected a group of I can't count, it's like 4, 8, 12, 16 songs to showcase, and maybe if there's time at the end we might do some more, or we might just, browse the game, do a gacha pull or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop over to the live show area and start our first song. And I do have a little hand cam here so you can kind of see what I'm doing.
I really like all the merch that you have in the hand cam.
Oh, I always decorate my hand cam with merch. Alright, let's make sure I pick the correct team, because unlike some other games, you actually do have to pick. I do believe I need to start. I'm just going to double check this. Okay, I do need to start on blue for this one. And we'll explain what I'm mumbling about there once we start, and I will give a countdown to the start of the song, so we can start the timer in 3, 2, 1, go.
So I'm really happy that Kariohki's playing this song, because this is actually my favorite song from the whole Love Live franchise. The way that the mechanics in this game kind of work is that you'll see there's a giant arrow on either the left or the right-hand side of the screen. What that means is that you have 9 cards that you bring into the song, but at any given moment you're only going to be using 3. So as you're tapping the notes, it cycles between your 3 cards, and as you tap, each card has about a 33% chance usually to do something specific within the song. They either gain you points, they recover your stamina gauge. Every note that you tap depletes your stamina gauge, so your stamina gauge is built up by each of the cards in your formation has their own stamina, so it's basically the sum of all of that. That's on the bottom of the screen. You see a little half circle there. There's a green bar along the outer side, left side of the circle. That's your stamina gauge. Goes down with every tap, but some of your cards in your team have the ability to heal you so that you don't run out of stamina and fail the song. On the right-hand side of that circle at the bottom, there's an orange gauge, which is how many points you've gotten, and each card in your formation has like different strengths. Basically, it's called the appeal stat. The higher your appeal stat, the more points you get in a single tap, and you want to fill that orange gauge up to S-clear the song. Now, contained within that little half circle there is a gauge that is slowly filling up, kind of like a circular meter thing. It's like, you see that white circle kind of filling up at the bottom there. When that fills up a little bit with every note that you tap, and that makes that animation happen where when it fills up, you press it and it does a special animation with your characters, and that just gives you like a huge burst of points just added to your score. It's very nice. So a lot of strats, especially in the early game, just kind of revolve around having a card that can score really well, a card that can heal, and just kind of trying to stay alive as long as you can. The other 6 cards in your team, most of the time they have passive abilities that make your main 3 cards a lot stronger. So even though you're not tapping with them, they are adding to your stamina gauge, they are doing some work, they're boosting your power, making you stronger. They're there for support.
Alright, what happened to my note speed? I'm gonna fix that really quickly. That was not doing that earlier. I have no clue why it's going so fast now. How did that happen?
I don't even play it. So
I don't remember doing that when I was changing the volume earlier. And I don't remember hitting that. So the game just decided to do that on us.
Oh no.
Okay, so we fixed it. The notes are going to be coming a lot in slower now, and I actually want to read them. There is no search.
The gameplay of this game has a lot going on in it. And it feels kind of overwhelming at first, which is kind of a barrier to entry for some players, but once you get used to it, it's like, it gets really, really fun. And like, go figure, the person that loves platformer RPGs is obsessed with an RPG hybrid.
Start in blue on this one. Alright, yeah, start in blue. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to completely, wipe on the songs. I'm like, make sure it's the right team, we're starting on the right strategy. That's a lot better for the note speed. I can read this now instead of just guess.
Yeah, this song is quite difficult because, like I was mentioning in the last song about how every time you tap a note, it damages your stamina gauge a little bit. Every song has a different rate at which the taps actually damage you, and sometimes, like this one coming up here, that just took a huge chunk out of Karioki's gauge with like the heart symbol and the triple down arrows. You tap that and it just does like a bunch of damage to you, so you want to have someone in your
Please
team
activate another skill. Okay.
Who can heal that. How much do you want Ellie to be your center? Actually, Ellie has some very, very good cards. Like, at higher levels of play in this game, you almost always want to have her in your team, even if it's like for support. She's, two of her rarest cards are like basically 2 of the best healers in the game, so at some of the challenge difficulties, like, you don't want to go in there without one of those Ellies. Something that I haven't really mentioned yet that's really cool about this game, and is not something that I think is really a thing in any other Love Live game so far, is that the cards that you put into your team are also put into the background. The background is the 9 characters that Karioki has in this song's team, wearing the costumes that belong to those specific cards. And they're doing like the actual choreography of the dance that you would see if you went to see one of these musical groups perform live, because Love Live is based on real musical groups. And the choreography was put into this game, and the 3D models of the characters just take the formation that they have in your team definition, and they just act out the song live in the background while you play it. This is awesome, and I love that, and it's one of, like, the absolute favorite things of people who play this game, and there's even a mode where you can just put whatever costumes and models of characters you want in any order and just watch it without even, like, playing the notes over top. You just watch the video. It's really pretty. The graphics in this game are very nice.
Alright, Fire's next. Oh, it's on top. This song's a lot easier. You can kind of tell the difficulty of a song by how much suggested show power and suggested stamina it's asking for. So these lower numbers, it's gonna be an easier song. Just verifying anything at the start. Nope. Okay, this is a. Pretty sure this usually the earlier a song was added to the game, the easier it is. Although they've had some difficulty spikes here and there that they've added in. Another unique thing about this game compared to other Love Live games, meaning School Idol Festival 2, which came out a few months ago in Japan, and that's pretty much the only like the main ones that have really come out. There was Puchiguru Love Live, there's like a little puzzle game that really didn't have any plot to it, but this is also the only Love Live game to do the Final Fantasy VIII style time compression, where all of the 3 groups in this game are active at the same time. In actual Love Live canon, the group Muse comes first, and then a few years later, Aqua takes inspiration from Muse and forms. And then Nijigasaki's kind of off on their own. They can fit really anywhere in the timeline. They're not hard-locked anywhere.
I really like that this Psychic Fire song is just Ellie, Kanan, and Setsuna. I have to tell Sean about that because those are his 3 best girls.
Yeah, this active team is also my Face Smash team, and I pretty much just use this team to clear all the very easy content in the game. All the events, just anything that didn't need any specific team building, just use this team. These 3 cards were, like this Setsuna, I think it's like her first Fest card, which was a major carry for a long time. This Kanan card was also a major carry. I think this is one of the main Ellie healers.
Yeah. Ellie has, of her 4 limited cards, 3 of them are sustainers. This, like Kariohki was saying about how the time compression is in this game, this is like never really explored in much other Love Live media, I don't think, is like what would happen if these 2 groups interacted with each other. Well, this game tells us that. In fact, there's thousands and thousands of side episodes of just like the characters from the different groups meeting each other and being friends and being adorable, and that's like... It kind of sucks that that's just gonna go away soon, and it's part of why I pooled a bunch of people together to record literally everything.
So, because this is Love Live, we have to do Snow Halation.
I also forgot to mention earlier that the previous song, Psychic Fire, every song in this game has a different color out of a pool of 6 colors. So Psychic Fire was a red or active song, and a lot of the cards that Kariohki is using also, every card also has one of those 6 colors. So if the color of your card matches the color of the song, the card is going to be doing a lot more output in the song. I think about 20% increase or so.
Yeah, and specific songs also have like debuffs on them, so you see me checking that info page, it'll say, you know, this song, the base appeal of all non-active cards will go down by 20% or something. So that's basically saying if you're not using the right color card on this song, you're going to be playing weaker. So Snow Halation here is actually an elegant song, and I'm playing it with an active team because I know this team is strong enough to just clear this content.
Oh yeah, this is hard mode, isn't it?
Yeah, this is Snow Halation Expert.
Yeah, that's right, because the regular version Snow Halation is pure. The game has a couple of different difficulty modes. There's 5 in total. Most of what you're going to be seeing tonight is on Advanced, which is the 3rd of the 5, but this is the 2nd highest difficulty is Expert mode. In Expert modes, your cards have the ability to do much more, as in their output is not capped at 100,000 anymore. Their SP skill burst is no longer capped at 250,000, but there's also a lot more taps, meaning you take a lot more damage. The things that you have to do are much more difficult. Something I haven't explained yet is right here at the top of the bar, there's like a little bit of pink, and where it says gain 570,000 voltage, those are called appeal chances. During an appeal chance, you're given a task that you have to do before for a certain section of the song, and if you don't complete it within that section of the song, then you take a bunch of damage. If you do complete it, then you get a little bit of break from the stamina damage, and you also are given a ton of points onto your voltage gauge, which the challenge mode and expert mode songs like this one, 570 something thousand voltage, which is basically what this game calls points, that you have to do in a single stretch of the song, is much, much higher of a threshold than most of the other songs that you're going to see tonight. So expert mode, quite hard. Challenge mode is like that, but cranked up to 1,000,000. Under the normal category, most of the difficulties are going to be advanced, which is like the third highest difficulty. And you're generally not going to see appeal chances asking you to get 500,000 points within a short span of time.
Yeah, I'll pull up when I pass through the
200,000.
challenge mode again. When I have to go back to normal after I do the next expert song, I will pull up like one of the songs in one of the info bars for the song and just kind of show how increased the numbers are for them. This is my favorite Aqua song.
This is among my favorites. I really like this song. So, when the notes turn into stars like this, that means that you have successfully completed the task within the given stretch of time that the song wanted you to do. And before it reaches the end of that time frame that it allotted you to complete that task, you do not take any damage, which is very nice.
And you also see my my SP gauge, the little white gauge in the middle, jump up when I clear appeals. That's due to my accessories on my team. So not only do all your cards have skills and types and everything like that, you can also equip accessories to your team. Every single girl can get one. So I have a bunch of what's the hairpins? I totally whiffed that appeal actually because I didn't realize it was the SP one.
It's it's the bracelets that give you SP gauge fill.
Yes, the bracelets, and then I have brooches on the main center group here, my green team here, that is upping their appeal. It's actually, I think it was a year or two ago. I don't remember the timeline of this game specifically, but the colored bars up at the time gauge at the top of the song, those weren't always there. Those got added in a pretty late update to the game. So you actually had to memorize your appeal order as you went into songs to know when you would need to switch so you wouldn't be caught off guard or anything. Like I was there, even though that little blue bar is very, very tiny. I didn't see it there, so I popped my SP too early.
Yeah. It would always tell you when there was an appeal chance coming up, but you didn't really have an indicator about what it was, so it was just all pink. And then they added
it was
an
all
update
pink. That was the
where
problem. Yes.
Yeah, and then they added an update where if your task during that point in the song is to fire off an SP skill of a certain power, then it'll appear as blue, so you know to be ready and not fire your gauge off too early, and then not be able to build it up in time to complete the appeal chance. Now we can plan ahead.
Yeah, and the green ones are, I don't think we've seen a green one yet, I think we'll be seeing one later. Green ones are keep your stamina above a certain amount, and orange ones are either activate skill or activate critical hits.
So if you're an Ellie stan, the ones where you have to keep your stamina above a certain level are like basically free for you.
Okay, there's a blue one coming up, so I am not going to press that shiny button in the middle.
There are cards that that can fill that SP gauge, that flashing gauge at the bottom, up faster, but those are kind of hard to come by sometimes.
I don't know, my phone's starting to get a little unhappy already.
Oh no!
Oh, it's lag. I can feel a little bit of lag. So if you're seeing lag, that is probably my phone doing it. I don't have the strongest phone, And I am playing on full 3D mode and streaming, so I don't think it'll crash or anything, but it might chug a little bit.
I play this game on the max settings, which makes my phone extremely hot and drains my battery in like 45 minutes.
Oh,
so
Connor did the black backflip there, okay.
I keep it plugged in and I rotate a series of ice packs out to cool it. It just sits on top of an ice pack and it's nice and happy and records at 60 FPS.
Yeah, I was telling Paige when we were discussing commentary for this that I actually have a friend, not this game, but a different, actually it was a D4 DJ game. When he was doing sport, like tiering, getting event points for an event, his phone kept overheating and he just had to keep wrapping it up and shoving it in the freezer every so often just to cool down because, like, even that game was too intense for it, so. Take care of your devices, people. Some of these games are getting to the point where, like, you can't even play them on low-end devices anymore because they're just getting so intense in graphics and everything. Okay, Future Flight is next.
The side content in this game is also, like, really, really cute, and it's just fun to see, the characters from each of the groups interacting with each other because it is fully voice acted. There's like at least some sense of immersion there, and the events are all things like Setsuna is having a bake sale and no one wants to eat her cooking, and just like these silly stories like that.
Yeah, I was flipping through some clearing out for some like star gems. And I was like, oh, Rina's board broke and she goes to the science club to upgrade it. Or Ayumu became a VTuber and is having her first stream and wants you to support her. By the way, when I say you, I actually do mean you. There is a player insert in this game. Also, this song here is one that doesn't have a 3D MV video because they didn't do the motion capture for it at the time the game was implemented. Maybe the song hadn't been performed live yet. It's a relatively newer Aqua song. So this is the 2D mode that we're seeing. This is how I typically play. You got the little chibis in the background, in the costumes. So in case, you can't concentrate on the song when you're playing it, or your phone, explodes when doing 3D MV mode, you can actually just default to this mode as well.
Look how cute they are.
Where was I, about the story? Oh, the player insert character. So when you start up this game, you get asked to, enter a name, and that person is actually a character in the game. I think they're still Ayumu's, childhood friend in this setting.
Yeah.
And, you both go to the same school, and you become the manager of the idol club. You're not actually an idol. You become a manager of the idol club and kind of help them and guide them through their trials and tribulations, and then you meet Muse and Aqua and all that fun stuff. That character actually has a an actual canon character version called Takasaki Yu. She was named by a fan submission, and yeah, she's this cute little black-haired girl with green tips, and it's in pigtails, and everyone likes her and everyone likes her Seiyu, and even though she doesn't really appear at events too often, it's just kind of funny how they made a canon version of you and you're a cute girl. I keep tapping on the items there when I don't want to. Alright, heading back over to the expert section. So yeah, there's normal songs, there's daily songs that rotate through each day, and then there's expert song, which are the harder ones. Alright, just making sure... okay, I need to pay attention on this one. I'm gonna concentrate on this one.
A rundown on what you can expect out of it.
Okay, I do want to use this team. Yeah, we're just kind of face smashing with this team again. This is a smile attribute song. I'm using an active attribute team, but I know I can clear it as long as I pay attention because there are some notes in this song that give a debuff if you are not paying attention, and that one right there. So as you saw, I actually switched my active team. Something just fell off my desk, and I don't know what it was. I switched off the main team there to dodge that appeal down note. So it was one of my other three sets getting hit by that. And not my strongest team.
I remember when this was like the hardest song in the game.
Yeah, I remember clearing this one and being like, oh, I cleared Mirai Boku. So I think my first expert clear, which is one I'm going to be playing later, I think it was Sweet Eyes.
Okay. I think the first one I cleared was Tokimeki Runners, which has no debuff notes in it. And it's also cleansable.
Oh yeah, cleanse. I have that, there's this one Pure Rico card that has cleanse on it that I just leaned so heavily on that card for a long time. And I think, I remember, like, switching, because she has, Pure Rico has a, what do you call it? Her skill is, like, on switch of formation, has a chance to cleanse. So I'd just be switching my formation back and forth between the one she was in and the one she was not in until the cleanse hit, and then I could play the song. And sometimes I could clear it. Sometimes I couldn't.
Yo, nice 20 million.
What fell off my desk? Trash Cat, what are you doing? Trash Cat is here, by the way, for fans of Trash Cat. He is here. And he is laying on top of my computer right now. And I think he knocked something over. Oh yeah, I can show it really quick. I was gonna show the, some of the info on a challenge song, so you can see here, you know, you have to get 42 million points to get a rank S in the game. It suggests 25,000 show power and 189,000 stamina. I've never even seen teams hit that high, honestly. I'm sure it's possible though, but like, decrease SP skill voltage gain by 100% for 30 notes. Like, yeah, there's a lot. Damage XL, 30,000 stamina damage. Gain a total of 1 million voltage during this one appeal. Maintain 90% or more of your stamina. You need to build very specific teams for all of these songs. Actually, someone on the subreddit was going through and making guides for all the challenge songs to get people to help people clear them. And it was like, I hope you have these cards in a lot of cases.
Pretty much. If you want to show off just how ridiculous challenges, try booting up Jingle Bells, like, just because you blink once and the song is over.
There you are. Alright, who's in my middle? Yeah, we can do it with her in the middle. Starlight is one of the very first songs added in the game, at launch, and it's kind of a meme in the community. Because with the 3D MV mode, like, whoever your center person is going to be the only person on stage. This is a solo song. And it's got a very kind of sultry dance to it. And with certain characters, the dance just ends up looking really funny.
Yeah.
So I here kind of fits a little bit. I mean, it's kind of fitting. She's like a counterpart in the subunit of Diver Diva between her and Karin. But you put someone like Ruby or Rena or Rin in the center spot, and it just kind of looks silly. And then Pidge, what's that little story you had about this song?
Oh yeah, this song in particular, one of the hot memes in the fandom was that this game started off with 27 characters and eventually went up to 30. So every time a new character is added to the game, the joke in the community is that they have to be hazed or initiated by being made to perform this song. Right after Shioriko was added, she was the 28th character in the game. She is part of the Nijigasaki High School, which had a live concert in Japan, I think, in 2020 or 2021. It was a streamed concert. Anyway, the 10 members of that musical group had to perform each other's songs because they all do solo songs. And so the new girl, the seiyuu who plays Shioriko, had to perform this song. which was like that was one of the funniest callouts like to the fan community memes I think I've ever seen like in this franchise.
Yeah, Shuffle Fest. I think it was called a Shuffle Fest, and it was probably one of Nijigasaki's best concerts. They haven't done another one yet, and probably for the reason, one of the songs I'll play later is probably the reason they really haven't done another one, even though they sort of did a mini shuffle when the newest subunit had their. I totally missed the song. I need to go up for it. The newest subunit did a mini shuffle between their songs. Alright. Here, I'm actually gonna switch teams now. I mean, I did last time, but I'm actually gonna... actually made a team just for this song. Is there anything special I needed? That's active SP, I don't want that one. Anything special I need to do for this song? Damage, I need to start on... Okay, green is my guard, so I am good there. And then I need to switch to red.
This song is quite difficult because, like we were saying earlier, every note that you tap does a little bit of damage to you. But there are some notes in this song, specific notes, that do a lot more damage. So you have to use your team skills wisely. There it is, right there. And you have to use your team to kind of mitigate that as best as you can and recover from it. So if your gauge gets down to 0, you fail the song. So the song that Kariohki was just playing, Starlight, is performed by a character named Karen, and she's in a subunit that only has 2 members, and this is their song as well.
So also while your stamina goes down, you will start doing less voltage or like get less score per tap. So you do want to keep your voltage kind of high for some of these songs here. Especially some of the later ones where it's like, hey, you need to hit 1,000,000 in this appeal chant, have fun. So that one I didn't switch teams for that damage note because I have enough stamina and shield that it just took my shield and didn't take any of my stamina down.
If your stamina gauge is, if it's still green colored, you're fine, you're doing your max damage. If it's yellow or especially red, then you got something to worry about. Not related to stamina gauges, but one of my favorite things...
Oh, we barely got S rank.
Nice!
Just squeaked in on the last note.
Is that a record for you?
Yes, when I cleared it earlier, I got A ranks. I stayed longer in guard in my guard
team. Oh, hell
team.
yeah!
So 60,000 points over.
Wow, that's like a rounding error. That's awesome. Nice S rank. One of my favorite things in this game is like one of the side content episodes where Muse and Nijigasaki do like a series of challenges against each other where they pit one of their members against one of the other members to do something silly. And Nico and Kasumi have a rap battle that's streamed live. And the winner is determined by people watching the stream who vote for which one was better. And the results come in and they say, okay, 1% says they preferred Nico, 1% said they preferred Kasumi, 1% said they can't decide, and 97% said you were both terrible. and they blame this on Umi entirely. They're like, Umi, this is all your fault for making that a selectable option.
She's just being honest. That's like, Umi's a very like kind of strict, she's kind of strict, very, very formal character. Nico and Kasumi can both be described by being gremlin.
100% gremlin. Just like concentrated gremlin energy.
I got to see Kasumi Seiyu perform recently when I was in Japan. 3 members of Nijigasaki were at a group live that I went to, so she did her first solo song there, and it was just like intense gremlin energy from her and the crowd. The other 2 Seiyu intendeds were Rina's Seiyu, so I got to do the Rina-chan board chant, and then Setsuna's new Seiyu was there. Setsuna being the character who was recast earlier this year when her first voice actress had to step down due to health reasons.
Rena is a really awesome character that I kind of want to talk about a little bit. She's my favorite character, like, in the whole Love Live franchise. I mean, I love all the girls in this franchise, but Rena is my number one. She is very strongly implied to be autistic, and one of how that manifests for her is that she struggles a lot to express her emotions with her face. So she's very close friends with this other girl, Ai, who's like the most outgoing and most popular girl in the school, and is always like
I'll pop over and I'll show Rena.
helping Rena get into her comfort zone. And together they made this board on Rena's face that expresses emotions for her in a way that she's more comfortable doing so. And there's a lot of storyline around like her and this board, and her anime episode is like I cry every time I watch it. She's I love Rena. She's the best.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Rena for you. So I don't think I have her in any of my active teams, but you can see her little. This is the electronic version of the board that she programmed, and it changes expressions. And then when she's not wearing that board, she has a sketchbook she carries with her, and she draws on it and draws faces on it.
It's so cute. Sometimes she draws them for other people too.
Alright, now, for I call it one of the most important songs in the Love Live franchise. I'm out of friends. I'm gonna be a little bit nerfed here, but that should be fine.
This is the very important song.
Yes, this is a very important song. Alright, we're gonna, I believe, I go over red at the start. Red at the start, and then we switch over to green.
You'll notice something a little different about the song pretty much from the get-go.
Oh yeah, just listen to the lyrics and you'll notice something special about this one.
Here we go, we gotta go, 'cause I know that miracles really do come true. Hey now, baby, treat it. 翡翠の光をよよよよよよ笑っては翡翠の笑ってはよよよ僕の実力を見せてあ
I
げる
didn't pass that first appeal. It should be okay though.
聞かせてあげるよ聞かせてあげるよ聞かせてあげるよ
And if not, then I will just drop it down to the lower level and do it there.
Yeah, so this is the only Love Live song that is performed entirely in English.
I think Stars We Chase is also fully in English.
Oh yeah, you're right. This was the first one that was entirely in English.
I'm going to die here. Yeah. So you can see what happens when you fail the song. It still lets you play, but you're not going to get any points. So we'll just kind of play this one out. I think because I don't have a friend guess that it was what do you call it? I don't have a friend guess, so my score, everything was a little bit lower there. But hey, content, right? This song.
If you want to use a friend guest, I think I have Thanksgiving Mia on my account.
I think I used you today though, but I think I can do a refresh.
Oh, okay. Oh, I could put Festu Chica up, because if you put her on a healer, then...
Can you do a refresh? I'm pretty sure you can do a refresh of your friends and get them back. Is that a thing? Yes, I know. You returned my LP because I failed horribly.
Yeah, the same for Mia is, she's...
Yeah, I can reload. Oh, no, I can't reload. You can't refresh them. Okay, yeah. Alright. We'll just call that throwing for content.
Gotta do at least one.
Gotta do at least one, right?
Yeah, Mia's Seiyu is Japanese Australian, and she's fluent in English and Japanese, so she plays she plays an English-speaking American character who moves to Japan to be a composer. Which is funny because Mia's from New York, and anytime she talks in English, like, there's an Australian accent. But you know, it's really cool that they have her in the franchise. And there's also her friend Lanju in the same group speaks Mandarin, So the subunit Rebirth is like is a trilingual subunit, and their songs are also hot fire.
It's quite funny when you have Homan or Min who, you know, speaks Japanese and Mandarin. You have Shuchan who speaks Japanese and okay, sleep mode just came on, nice. You have Shuchan who speaks English and Japanese, and then you have Moe P who's like, "Hi guys," and that's the extent of her English.
I remember the fan meet. She's like, "I'm surrounded by such talented people."
Which is like such a funny thing for her to say because she is an extremely talented stage actress.
Oh yeah.
Koizumi Moeka. She's in Review Starlight. She's in D4DJ. She's in this. She was in the Bloom Into You stage play. She's very talented, and it's just kind of funny her saying like, "There's all these more talented people around me." Also, she likes frogs, and that's awesome.
I just realized I logged on to like try and switch my guest for you to see if that would work, and I logged on to the wrong account. I have 2 phones right now. I have one of my friends more or less gave me his account because he has every card and every costume in the game released before May of this year. So he let me have his account for archival reasons, so I put that on my main phone because it records really well, and then I relegated my account to my boyfriend's phone, and I always forget which one is on which.
Yeah. Why don't you speak a little more about your work this last like month and a half or however long it's been for this archival project you're working on, because that's like super important, I think, for this game.
Oh, yeah, sure. I can talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead if I can find the song. We're playing Monster Girls next, so we'll do Monster Girls while we talk about saving content.
Monster Girls is an awesome song.
It's lower than that.
It's
near the bottom.
So
there it is. Like, I know this is new.
It was announced on May 1st that this game was going out of service on June 30th. So as soon as I found that out, like I don't know, I think something just like sprung up in my brain. I just sprung like right into action. I opened up like my code editor and I wrote like an HTML scraper of a site that has the names of every piece of content. And I just like wrote this code that just reads the site and finds all the episode names and puts them all in an Excel sheet. And then I made that sheet available to the whole School Idol Festival Discord and said, record these on your phone, put your name down on everything you recorded, let's get this whole game backed up. Because if you know, if you're familiar with video game preservation, mobile game preservation is pretty much like non-existent. It is in an absolutely abysmal state, and we wanted to do something about that for this game. Because this game is amazing, and like, it's really significant that this was a game where the 3 groups like interact, because it's not like really much of a thing in Love Live canon, and it's also really awesome that it happens. And there's just like so much great stuff in this game that we just didn't want to become lost media. And we're almost at 100% completion. It's very, very, very close. I'm pretty sure we are going to hit our target of end of service June 30th, having it 100% archived by then. People have been uploading videos, and I've been recording them under certain file names, and last night I wrote an auditing script that figures out exactly what we are definitively 100% missing. So we're just going through the last few straggling videos that we're missing, and it's all going on archive.org. I've been uploading stuff on archive.org for like the past month and a half. It's very slow, but it is all going to be there, and the content of this game is going to be preserved forever. I've been doing a lot of this last month and a half. It's a lot of work, but I'm just happy that it's going to be there. But because of that, I haven't really like had a chance to like grieve that this game is going under, because I've just been so focused on working that I feel like it's all gonna hit me on June 30th. I'm like, oh no! So that's a thing that's happening. This game is very cute, and some of these characters' interactions are awesome. We want to preserve the work of the voice actresses, the work of the translators, and it's gonna be there. Our memories are always gonna be there. This it's kind of like fun that I fell down this rabbit hole of this game because I actually got into this game from. There was a concert for the 9th anniversary of Love Live where the first 3 groups all performed together for the same time, which was amazing. And that was my first exposure to the Nijigasaki girls, who are basically the main characters of this game. And I was like, oh, their music is actually really cool. Okay, I'm gonna download this game and see what these new girls are all about, because I loved Love Live and Love Live Sunshine, the anime series. Nijigasaki didn't have an anime yet, they just had this game, so I downloaded the game to learn their story. And then I was hooked right away, and my boyfriend, who at the time was my best friend, he's the one who got me into the series, and I feel like every time he gets me into anything, I just go off the deep end with it.
This is not the right... So... I think I want... No, I don't want that one. I don't want that. Oh gosh, I didn't look at my team hard enough before I started the song. I mean, I'm living, but I don't remember which formation or group was my strongest one. So let's look around until I find it. Those are hitting in the 20s. It's not that one. It's this one. Yeah, it's this one. There's like 40s and stuff in there.
Oh yeah, I and Mari together.
Yeah. I think I got confused because I got Katori there, and I think she's an SP. But that's like a Fez Eye, and that's a skill healer Mari, I believe. It's not my normal teams. I'm just like, what? How does this one work? Yeah. As I explained in the Squaddle Festival showcase, but if you weren't here for that, I got into Love Live way back in 2015. Right near the end of like the first era, when Muse was, I think it was right when the movie came out is when I started getting into Squaddle Festival, the actual rhythm game that was before this one. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. And then Muse announced they were graduating like a month or two after I started like getting into it, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh no.
So yeah, the first group that I liked, which Ellie here, she's part of that group, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it took me a while to get into Aqua, actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I did not like them. I was very much who are these other girls, for a very long time, until Strawberry Trapper came out, and I was like, this is a banger. And then I got into Aqua, because I'm like, actually, their songs are pretty good, so... Aqua is the group I've seen the most live, because I've seen them live 3 times.
Oh wow.
All in the U.S. In comparison, I never saw Muse live. I didn't go to the I could have went to the Love Live Fest where all 3 groups at the time were performing, but I didn't. I shouldn't have popped the SP there, but we should be okay. I've seen 3 of Nijigasaki, which I mentioned earlier, and I've seen 8 out of the original 9 of Liella, and Liella is now an 11-person group, I believe?
Yeah.
Yes, they're 11 now. Yeah, so I also at the Bushi Road Rock Festival live, Liella performed, Liella being the newest mainline group / second or third newest group, depending on how you count the stage play group. But one of their members was absent, so I saw the other 8. Because their thing has been every single year they just added a couple new members. And then the group after them, Hasano Sora, is sort of kind of VTubers. They're not like their voice actors aren't hidden or anything, but they do a lot of their streaming with motion captured rigs and everything, but they do perform live. And then there's also the sort of side group that was in the School Idol musical that was a separate plot. So yeah, Love Live's still pretty big. Love Live isn't really the juggernaut that it was, where it'd be like, oh, they're selling out Tokyo Dome or MetLife or Balluna Dome. They changed names. They're not selling out the domes, but they're still pulling a lot of fans. Liel is kind of doing a more standard idol circuit where they're doing a lot of smaller lives.
Right.
Instead of doing like a lot, and we still got 15 minutes in our time here. All right, Pidge, name me some songs I can play. Give me a Muse song to play.
A Muse song to
Something
play.
to play that I can clear without team building. Well, I'm just gonna go around and show some other parts of the game. Well, you just think up a couple songs, one for each group. Well, I'll show off some other parts of the game here. So,
can you do Benetsu Kata Mystery? I love that song.
Maybe. I'll check on that one in a second.
It's like my favorite Lily White song.
I think it's also mine. So one of the things in this game has is this little channel area where you can kind of rank depending on what you're doing with your character and how many bond points you're getting and cheers you're giving them and everything, and then you can boost your team, boost your favorite girl's team up, and you get like little rewards for that. So right now Mia's always been on the low side, except when it's her birthday. Usually when it's a character's birthday, they will be like super high up. So like last week, Nozomi won because it was her birthday last week, and you get more prizes on her birthday. So if you play certain songs, feed them little items or give them a little cheer per day, kind of boost that rank there. That's the accessories screen. I'll show off the accessories. Where you can see all the shiny ones that I have, so you can see which ones are in use. So the musical brooches here gives appeal plus during the song, so higher main stamina is the more base appeal, so more score basically. And then you got little bracelets here where when you clear an appeal, it gives SP gauge back, which you can just kind of roll that through the entire rest. And those are pretty much the only useful ones, except for belts here. Which also raise SP, but those are harder to get because all these ones here, they just drop as items and you can level up your accessories and everything, but those belt items can only be, is that the DLP prizes?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, those can be bought with DLP points. DLP, actually right here, Dream Live Parade, being one of the multiplayer modes. There's like, no, that's multiplayer, this is tower mode. Multiplayer is SBL. This is like a tower clear mode that you can go up the different songs and get points to get medals as you go through the songs, and each score is higher than the last to kind of clear all the way through the tower, and there's some pretty high numbers at the end there to clear out here.
My favorite game mode, and I have full cleared every tower.
Amazing.
I thought of some songs.
All right, and then this is the current event going on. A big live show. It's probably BLS, but it's SBL, where you do multiplayer with 9 other people and compete with them to do certain goals on each of the songs here. So there might be like who got the most voltage in the song, or who healed the most, or who used the most SP activations. Alright, so you said Benetsu Kata Mystery, so I will go digging for that one. I know these are ordered somehow, I just don't remember how.
That would be near the end of Muse. For
Yes.
Aqua, Miracle Wave, and Nijiro Passions.
We did Miracle Wave earlier.
Oh, that's right, we did. Okay, I need to find another song then. I was looking for like a good active song. Nijiro Passions is active though, so I would still suggest that one.
Alright, Nijiro Passions is a good song too.
Oh, Strawberry Trapper, why not?
We'll go to Strawberry Trapper. Alright, anything fancy in this one? No, I can just go with my normal full team. I don't want to play. And I'm gonna actually go look at this team for a second here. My voltages are in green, so I start on voltage. That should be fine then. I'm gonna have to refresh my energy after the next song, because I'm at 30. I have 30 stamina, 30 live energy left. Come on, phone. This is also one of my more notorious maps in School Idol Festival and School Idol Festival 2, the actual like rhythm game. because it has this part near the end where it just kind of spams a tornado of notes at you in the full semicircle, so right to left. And it's just, I call them the non-tan mystery lasers. Because non-tan being Nozomi, who's one of the characters in this subunit.
I guess I'll give a better answer than the one I wrote in chat earlier. Are they based on idols, or are there idols cosplaying as the girls in the game? Basically, like, in universe, each of these girls is just, like, a normal kid who goes to high school. Like, each of the groups is just, like, a group of friends that, do musical, like, idol shows. And participate, and, well, the first two groups participate in a competition, which is called the Love Live, and they do that to attract more attention to their school to save it from being closed down for declining registration numbers. But outside of, like, that's like the canon for the stories. Like, all these girls that you see on screen, they're just like characters in the anime universe or the game universe, so on and so forth. In real life, each of these girls, the voice acting that you hear from them, both in the music and within the game, they are voiced by a person who plays them on stage. They're seiyuu, or, yeah, the word is seiyuu, and, they actually do perform these concerts live in Japan. Like, the women who voice these characters, like, they do this choreography, they do these concerts, like, the concerts are, like, a huge deal. It's, really, really exciting to be at them.
Yeah, it's called, if you've seen the term, like, 2.5D, this franchise was one of the, like, big ones, because it started back in 2010. This franchise was one of the big early ones, along with, like, Idolmaster, to do that sort of thing. And now there's a lot of 2.5D songs. I mean, songs. A lot of 2.5D franchises out there. I mean, you got this. You still got Idolmaster kicking around. You got Uma Musume. You got D4DJ. You got Bang Dream. You got all the small ones. Like, I think Bandai Namco just launched another one or something. Oh, that was Kariohki, so it's right above. There, Strawberry Trapper. Let's get 3 different people on the front here. So I'm just gonna switch out who's in the center here without changing my actual formation. Oh, she put Yoshiko in there. Yoshiko, and we'll do Katori and Nico. Yeah.
Aw, yeah.
So if you see on the loading screen here, these 3 in the center are highlighted, so that's saying that those will be the ones that are displayed. So those will be the ones that actually be showing on the screen for the song. It's also your SP skill unit, so that determines how strong your SP skill is going to be. So sometimes you are locked to certain characters that are just for strength, but... Oh yeah, Utano Prince Sama is another one. Another one starting on PSP was the Milky Holmes franchise, which predates Bang Dream. That wasn't even songs. That was like a detective agency who also had songs because they had seiyuu, and the seiyuu performed lives. Lives meaning concerts and like this terminology.
This song is cool because it's a Guilty Kiss song. Within each of the groups, all the groups have between 9 to 12 members, and within those groups they have subgroups that each follow like a certain theme or musical style. So Guilty Kiss is made of 3 members of Aqua, and they do like a lot of kind of like metal songs, and which is funny because one of the members of Guilty Kiss, Mari, like in the anime, she's shown like listening to death metal and trying to get everyone, trying to sell it to everyone else in the group. They just put in the headphones to her iPod and just like immediately are just like dead. So she's trying to be like, no, we should do a song like this, everyone, and so lo and behold, she gets put into this subunit.
Yeah, the subunits for Muse and Aqua, the first 2 groups, are all 3 members each. Nijigasaki, because they split it up by having, for their first 9 members, they had 1 group of 2, 1 group of 3, 1 group of 4, and then their final group, when they added 3 more characters, made up their own subunit. Liela's subunits just got announced, and they have 3, and 5 or something like that. It's a weird split.
Yeah, 3, 3, and 5, I think, is a split. Also, I just want to say that, like, Ren's subunit, I'm so happy is called Kaleidoscore, because I refuse to believe that the word score in that is, like, anything other than a reference to how she is a gaming addict. There's,
That's
like,
the one
this
I
whole
voted for,
episode-
too. I voted for
There's
that one.
this whole episode about how Ren, who's, like, the most like proper, polite, refined girl in the group, is just addicted to video games. She cannot stop playing video games. She like falls asleep at school and is like trying to play video games in her sleep. And she is just so online and I love her.
Gotta restore my life points.
I used to say, like, it was too bad that Liella never got put into this game, but I mean, if Ren is trying to, like, be more responsible about video games, then there, under no circumstances should she ever befriend Rina and Mia. It's that's just how it is.
What's their school called? I'm blanking.
Liella's school?
Yeah, Yuigaoka? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yuigaoka would have shut down. just bad end. I shouldn't have popped that, but bad end. Just right there. Ren can't stop playing video games. Can't help save the school. I think this will be the last song, so we're pretty close to the time here, and then we can do a gacha poll to cap it off.
This song is really nice. This was the theme one, the season 1 opening theme for the anime that was based on Nijigasaki, and Nijigasaki is the group that was introduced by this game.
Yeah.
So when I got so hooked on this game, then when I found out they were getting an anime, I was so happy.
The seiyuu were as well, because like an anime ostensibly was not in the plans for Nijigasaki. So when they announced the anime, it was like a surprise to them too, that they're doing well enough that they can get their story told in anime, which brings a greater audience. The anime and the game story are different. The game story is in basically the season 2 of the game is a little bit harsher with how Lanju and her kind of takeover of the school idol club is compared to how the anime handles it. As I like to say, Shioriko got defanged in the anime a little bit. So the anime is does a little bit softer, a little bit kinder. It's kind of split. I think more people prefer the anime, but then there's people like me who prefer the game version, because they really don't do those sort of tough stories where someone comes in and takes over everything and is just mean because she doesn't know any better, and then she gets better. So can't have a gacha game without doing a poll at the end. We'll be able to do the get one UR guaranteed. See how many URs we get instead of just the plain one.
Let's see what we got.
I haven't let the full animation play in a long time, so.
Same here. I forgot it was a thing. Oh, we got 1 UR, 2 SRs.
1 UR. Alright, we'll see if anything flips.
Fingers crossed.
That's a dupe. I can tell because it doesn't say new on it. I couldn't tell that voice for a second.
One of the first cards released in the game.
New SR. I actually could not tell that was Honoka's voice at first. Emitsune's voice has kind of changed over the years. I was like, I recognize it, but I don't. I think it's all just R's from here on out. Kasumi, Daya, Umi, and Chica. Oh, 2 new SRs. And then limit increase on that old honk. So not bad, not bad. So a couple other things in this game. You saw me pop over here earlier to show off Rina, but this is the area where you can read all of the little solo episodes and stories and kind of view what you've unlocked for the character. I'll go into I here, as you see, all the costumes I don't have unlocked, all the different voice lines that you can play depending on what you have unlocked, all the cards you have for that character, all of their Bond episodes, so all the different side episodes. A lot of, like, the Nijigasaki characters have a ton of little stories behind them. Side episodes are what you unlock via the costumes. Bond bonus levels the card up for live play and kind of almost like a limit break sort of thing. So there's that whole thing. Training. This is where you get abilities to equip to your idols, or they randomly kind of spawn on the idols here. Always do running because running gives a peel up at a random chance, and a peel up is the only good one in the game. But you just had to grind this out over and over and over and over again. And then of course this little story area where they have the different seasons, the anime tie-in stories, and event episodes as well for all the events that happened in the game. So all of this is being recorded and uploaded to archive.org thanks to Pidge and a lot of people's very hard work over the past month and a half. And with 15 days remaining, they're gonna get everything.
I always like to say that, like, this game is just too gay and too adorable for us to let it become lost media. We have to do something.
Yeah, and I say that's good time to stop our timer. I know it went a little bit over, but hey, we're showing off everything, and yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this showcase of one more game that's going to be lost to the mobile gaming digital void. But not completely, as, you know, Pidge and everyone working to record the date, record the stories, record the lines, record the costumes, and get this all archived just so people can go back 5, 10, 20 years from now when Love Live has 20 groups total or something and can go back and see where Nijigasaki started. And then, of course, just because we had a nice little tweet video earlier, I gotta show off everyone's true favorite idol. Here he is. It's Trash Cat. You want a bite? Yeah, you're gonna bite me. Yeah, you are. Yeah. You good boy. He's been laying on my computer the entire time, clogging the fans up. This is bugging me, but yes, thank you all for having me once again to show off a game, and thank you, Pidge, for ecstatically responding to my message when I DM'd you out of the blue and said, "Do you want to comm for me on this?"
Thank you so much for having me on commentary. I'm really happy that we got to do this.
Yeah, when I heard this game was going down, I was like, I really want to show it off, but I can't explain it well enough, and it's a very finicky game to explain. I need an expert. Oh, look, I follow an expert. But yeah, thank you so much for having us on tonight. It's been a blast.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. And also thank you to Kariohki and Pidge for showing off that wonderful game. That was super cool. I love hearing about the archival process, and, you know, it's extremely important to archive games like this. So that was super cool, and it was super cute also. Y'all, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase, which is coming up. You can actually catch our runner today, Kariohki, running Shepherd's Crossing at around 12:30 on Sunday, July 9th. That's gonna be really great. Please make sure to come by for that, and all of the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase, happening from July 6th to 9th, 2023. The schedule is actually in chat. Thank you, Nightbot, for reading my mind. So feel free to click on that schedule and check it out. There are some amazing runs happening. We're starting at 7 p.m. on July 6th, running until 3 a.m. the first night. Second day on Friday, starting at noon, ending at around 2 a.m. Saturday, starting at 11 a.m., ending around 3 a.m. And Sunday, starting around 11 and ending around 9-ish. So it's a weekend jam-packed full of amazing stuff. The schedule is super awesome. Thank you all so much for submitting. And it's going to be great. Super looking forward to that. But for now, let's talk a little bit about Attract Mode. So Attract Mode is, you know, what we're watching right now. Anyone, if you're a woman, you are welcome to submit anything gaming related for Attract Mode. We want to show off whatever you're interested in. Please feel free to submit an application. You go to ladyarcaders.com/start to submit a showcase. And if you're interested in helping out behind the scenes at any point, we also have a volunteer submission form. So if you want to help out with social media, with restreaming, with tech checking, with being on commentary or hosting, Attract Mode is a great way to get training to take your skills to other events as well. So if you want to get practice, please feel free to send in a volunteer application or a submission application for Attract Mode. So before we go today, the schedule is a little bare at the moment. I swear there are more showcases coming up past June 18th, and they will be input into the website very shortly. But first off, our next showcase, which is happening on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, is titled Mako Enhanced Subtext, a queer Final Fantasy VII panel. It's going to be great. Scala Kitty is a huge Final Fantasy fan, and I am so excited to watch this panel. It's going to be amazing. And if you happen to have any games that you want to submit that are particularly queer, we're celebrating Extra Queer June right now. So, like I said, please feel free to fill out an Attract Mode submission. And we have a little bit of space left for the month of June. So if that's something you want to show off, please get in touch. And that's about it for tonight. We are actually going to go raid into Asuka424's channel. Asuka is currently playing Give Me Toilet Paper, which is a run that's going to be on Lady Arcader's Super Showcase. So let's go over there and say hello. And we will see you all on Sunday at 2 p.m. Goodbye, folks.